Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV news with me, Meoni. This then courtesy of the unofficial Final Fantasy XIV subreddit Discord, which there will be a link to in the description. Meoni translated much of the conversation, so obviously much praise to those. Those people obviously went out their way, the translation team over on that Discord, to actually get this to us. Anyway, so let's look at this then. So this was in celebration of New Year's. Yoshi P actually visited the Chocobo server, which is on the Japanese data centers, and answered some questions about upcoming content for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, there's nothing significant from this, but there are a bit of extra trivia, a few tidbits here that are worth making a video over, and basically people were shouting out questions in their respective chats, and Yoshi P was replying as much as he physically could to whichever ones he chose to reply to. So here's the Q&A, essentially, live Q&A on a server. So for the first question, somebody asks, "We want more housing exteriors," which is more of an exclamation, but still, they were treated as a question. And Yoshi P says, "After we're done with 7.0, exclamation mark. There are so many graphic updates we need to touch that we couldn't get to new exterior designs yet," end quote. So there we go. So no plans for more housing exteriors in terms of, I don't know if they mean housing placement slots for housing exteriors, most likely, or maybe they're just redoing the entirety of that in the future. Again, with a graphics update, maybe they'll change that grass eventually after 7.0. That would be nice. Maybe have different types of outdoors environments that you could have in your house. That would be nice, wouldn't it? As opposed to just having low poly grass. So fingers crossed for the future. Next question. Please add more hats for Viera. I think most people will be pleased to see that Yoshi P chose to answer this question or exclamation. Yoshi P says, "We're working on adjusting the system for Viera and Hrothgar wearing headgear. Please wait patiently," end quote. So, does this mean they found a solution to the issue that's prevented them from backdating many of the other items in the game, including all of the new items that are added to the game via events and things like that? Personally, outside of this, in my opinion, this should have been something that was there from the beginning. It feels a bit weird when new event Glamour comes out and some races just can't use that. So yeah, apparently there are plans, and we should be very patient as we have been, and hope that equality comes to all of the races in the game. And maybe many more people would lean towards playing Hrothgar and Viera because they would have that equality. That's my opinion anyway. Maybe you have a different opinion, but apparently that is something that's being worked on. Very hyped for that. Next question. Making 2 dyeable slots for gear seems like a lot of work. Is it fine on the memory end? That's a good question, actually. More often than not, many questions in the past have been directed towards, can we have this? Can we have that? And more often than not, the reply has been, we'll have to see how it works, because there's a memory limitations, there's a lot of limitations of the code to prevent many features. That's a very interesting question, considering 2 dyeable slots does add so much more data, doesn't it? Yoshi P replies, "The programmers and designers are doing their best. I have more to show during the next FanFest, so please wait a bit more." So hopefully we get some kind of, I would love to see another one of those panels that we had like at the European FanFest, where we went in depth with how things were made. I would love to see more of that. Whether or not we'll get that, or if it's just going to be obviously Yoshi P on stage during a keynote talking about this, I'm happy either way. But I'm curious how that works as well, and to what depth they've gone with the dye palette system. It's something that's sorely missing from the game, especially in comparison to other MMORPGs when it comes to customization of your character. Very hyped for that. The next question just says, "Yoshida, I need more inventory space." That's literally how it's written. Yoshi P replies, "We're working on the increase of item slots in your house. That has priority right now, but we will keep improving." So it looks like the housing in inventory, the housing slot increase is going to take priority. So I wouldn't expect Dawntrail to have necessarily an increased inventory for your character size. That would be nice. I mean, what we're at 140, is it 141 slots now? Something like that. It would be nice to have more, wouldn't it? Especially when you're crafting. I've been doing the Ishgard restoration recently with Skybuilder script stuff. It doesn't take long to fill an inventory worth of collectibles. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I would love to see more inventory space. I think most people would, but it's interesting to say, to actually come out and say, yeah, we're working on the house stuff. So that seems to be a confirmation. We had this discussion before, but we didn't have I couldn't remember exactly where he had said it, but it seems that we are getting more housing slots. Maybe that's housing placement slots or inventory slots. I'm not sure. But I'm hyped for anything housing related because there just isn't enough slots. Let's put it that way. Hopefully that's what it means. Next question. I don't have enough glamour plates. Will there be new jobs? Oh, there will be new jobs and all. Please add more plates. Okay, so Yoshi P replies, similar to the inventory space, it's on the list, but it's not a priority right now. Yeah, glamour plates, they'll never be enough. Even if they added another 50, that's not enough. Same with the glamour dresser, let's be honest. Next question. Add a feature that renders your character model with priority, please. Add a feature that renders your character model with priority, please. What does that mean? Like when you load into an area, it renders your character first? That's a strange question. I'm not sure the context. Yoshi P replies, however, you guys know if we did that, we'd be drowned in complaints telling us we're putting effort into the wrong things, end quote. So the first question I've got is, what does that mean? Personally, is it like in some of those MMORPGs where you load in and then no one else loads in until your character's loaded in? That's usually just the fact that you haven't got it installed on an SSD, right? I don't know. My character loads in immediately when I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe our friend here is still on a hard drive or something. I don't know. So the next question is actually a question. I really like Eureka and Bozja. Really looking forward to the new Big Field content in Dawntrail, which again, I didn't even know that there was confirmation of. Yoshi P says, thank you. Please look forward to it. Bit cryptic there. Yeah, I didn't even realize there was new Eureka style content in Dawntrail. I mean, I guess there should be, but that's the first I've personally seen confirmation of it. So that's going to be exciting. Hopefully that's tied into a relic step that isn't just tomes. That's my personal hope, but we all have our different opinions on that. Yeah, I'm hyped for that now. Hopefully it has a dungeon in it as well. I love Dosma. Next question. Can you do something about the lunchbox machinists are carrying around on their hips? That's a brilliant way of putting it. The answer, those lunchboxes are filled with love. We can't remove them. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is one of the complaints many people have had for the Ether Pack, I think it's called, that sits on your hip. There are some slight variations in terms of color, but usually no matter what weapon you've got, whether it's Shinryu or I don't know, any kind of weapon, like any kind of gun, you always have this ugly metal thing on your hip. I always said before, why don't they just have like a toggle feature for this, or like using the toggle visor feature for your hip or something, but apparently that's not going anywhere. Maybe it's just a piece of the lore that they just want to force upon you. Personally, I don't play Machinist because of it. I don't like it. It looks awful. Machinist is great, but aesthetically, I'm just like, oh man, no matter what I look like, it's gonna have this ugly box. So I agree with that, but I love the fact that we're calling them lunchboxes now, full of love. I will keep that and I will use that. That's brilliant. Next question. It's a lifelong memory when I cleared E8S with you during one of your walks with Yoshi P streams. The answer, once the 7.0 development has calmed down a little, I will come back to do more Savage with you guys. Oh, it's nice. It's really lovely to see Yoshi P engaging with the community. That is one thing I will say. But yeah, I wish personally that I was on a Japanese server now. That sounds fun, doing stuff with Yoshi P. Damn. Yoshi P, I am kind of a cat person, somebody says. Yoshi P replies, unfortunate. I like wolves. Bit of a strange one, that. Bit of trivia. Apparently, Yoshi P a bit of a wolf person, more than a cat person. Interesting. I wonder if he likes Roxanne Wolf from FNAF. Like-minded. Next question then. Is this an actual question? I am terrible at jumping puzzles. How can I improve? Oh boy. The reply is, turn your camera into the direction you're jumping to and work on the precision and not the speed. Speed will come naturally. Actually, that's not a bad tip, is it? That's usually what I do. Camera angles are everything when you go to jumping. One of the tips I would add to that is when you're doing the side-to-side jumps, put your camera as if you're doing like a Mario jump so that you use the strafe keys to jump left and right. Sometimes those jumps are 10 times easier when you look just directly at the wall rather than your character and then just strafe key on keyboard. Oh, those jumps, so much easier for me like that. Whereas if I've got that 3-dimensional aspect behind a character, it's just a nightmare. Not a bad tip. Next question. Please add more options for character creation. I mean, not really a question, but more of a demand. Yoshi P replies, that will be sometime after the graphics update. So, confirmation that we're actually going to get more character creation. The only thing I would want above anything else in character creator is more faces. Like, we have most characters, when you create them, they have 4 face options. Okay, that is typically true. Imagine if we just doubled that. If you had 8 face options, think of all of the other sliders and settings you could do to that to make your character even more unique. Like, everybody pretty much has the same face, you know, out of 4. 1 out of 4. So yeah, I think it would just add a bit of variation just to have more faces. But yeah, more options apparently after 7.0 is out. So maybe in a 7.x series, maybe in 8.0, I don't know. I would be down for more. That would be great. So the next question is, when does 7.0 come out? October can still be considered summer, right? Question mark. Yoshi P replies, even for someone like Yoshi P, October definitely is not summer anymore. So they're hoping to obviously get this. I'm guessing September, personally. I'm going to be nice and optimistic. I'm going to go for September. But maybe before then? Who knows? It depends if there's a media tour or not. You know, we haven't got any information yet, personally. So, no idea. Next question. Please host an event in Hokkaido. Yoshi P replies, we have fate events in each region again. Hokkaido, it says here, is the big island up north in Japan. Yeah, very helpful note. Yeah, they do lots of in real life events. Recently, they had the fireworks events, didn't they? Those are really cool. Apparently, the noodles were expensive or something. I read. Weird. And people were complaining about noodles. I think that was the case, and they had to say that the noodles were like too expensive and they're sorry. I don't remember. Very interesting. The last question then. I really want to hear Yoshi P sing at FanFest. That's more of a demand again. Yoshi P replies, there is a reason I never tried to become a professional singer. I don't know, man. Have you heard Yoshi P's version of the Byako song? I don't know. I think he's lying here. He's very talented. He's a very talented man, and hopefully he comes back to sing again. Hopefully for Japan. That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be great. And then the crowd thanks Yoshi P and hopes that he looks after his health, and so do I. And hopefully 2024 gets better for Japan and anybody who's affected by the earthquakes, and obviously the follow-on from that, right? But yeah. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to the subreddit Discord, obviously, for this translation. I wouldn't have seen this. Anyway, much love. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.